Welcome back to the channel. Remember, please like the video and subscribe below so I can keep making great content like this. This is the March 2020 exam calculator section. The Corona exam that probably some of you may have taken. Got canceled for a lot of people. But anyway, here we are. Here's the test. And this is how to do every single question on the calc section of this test. Alright, without further ado, let's do this. Number 1, if s equals 4, what is the value of 20s minus 15s? Really easy. Just plug s in and solve. So this is going to give us 5s. Whoops. Let's click this. Beautiful. So this is going to give us 5s. Substituting the 4, we're going to get an answer of 20, which is answer choice D. Okay. Number 2, the line graph shows the number of space shuttle launches by the U.S. from 1981 to 1986. During which year of this time period was the number of space shuttle launches the greatest? Well, we look at 1985, it was clearly the highest there, so we're going to go with 1985 D again. Number 3, American marsupials and Australian marsupials are two primary groups of marsupials. The table shows the number of species in each order of living marsupial by group. Based on the table, what fraction of the Australian marsupial species are from the older Parameliforia? Okay, so we're going to look at the Australian ones. Australians, we've got, let's add up what we got for the Australians first. So that's going to be 1 plus 71 plus 24 plus 2 plus 137 equals 235 in total. Out of those, the older whatever it's called is 24. So B is our answer. Okay, next question, number 4. 2 data points are in the scatter plot shown along with a line of best fit. Which of the following best estimates the predicted value of y1x equals 6.5? So let's just look to see where x equals 6.5. It's right about here. Y looks like, oops, wrong. It's right about here. So it looks like y is going to be 16, so our answer number 4 is D. Number 5, what is 120% of 2,000? We're going to take our calculator, take 2,000, multiply that by 1.2 because that's equivalent to 120%. And we're going to get an answer of C, 2,400. Okay, number 6. Field has a perimeter of 960 feet. Which of the following is closest to the perimeter of the field in meters? Super simple. Just set up a proportion. So 960 feet over x equals 1 foot over 0.3048 meters. Then just cross multiply, and we're gonna get x to be equal to about 290, so B is the answer. Number 7. Okay, we have a box plot, we have a bunch of information. The question is, which of the following could be the median annual cost of automobile insurance for automobile owners in the city? So the median one is gonna be in the actual box, the line that's in somewhere inside of it. So in this case, here's our box. Here, I'm going to circle the line that's inside of it. That's a little bit above 1600, so we know our answer is going to be a little bit above 1600, which is A, 1625. 8. Bunch of information. There's a linear relationship. Which of the following equations describes f of x? So whenever you have a table of values and you have equations in the answer choices, you just need to see, you need to plug them in basically and see which one works. So let's see. Let's start with A. F of x equals x plus 57. So x is going to be the speed, so Does 77 equal... So we're going to use speed of 4 and the pulse of 77 and plug them in and see if it works. 77 does not equal 57 plus 4, so A is out. B, negative x plus 97. Well, 77 is not equal to negative 4 plus 97, so we're going to get rid of that one as well. C, f of x equals 5x plus 57. Well, let's see. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 57 is 77. Great, so let's try the other ones to make sure they also work. B, the second one, 6 and 87 works, 8 and 97 works, perfect, so C is going to be our answer. Number 9, based on the 2010 census. Interesting, the census is being taken out too. In fact, it has to be taken every 10 years. And that's the end of that fun fact. The population of Milwaukee was 96% of Baltimore in 2010. If Milwaukee's was about 595,000, what is the best approximation of Baltimore's population? Okay, so we don't even have to do any math here, to be honest, because we know that Baltimore's population has to be higher than Milwaukee's, right? Milwaukee's is 96% that of Baltimore. So the only answer that's bigger than 595,000 here is A. So that's what we're going to pick. Okay, number 10. In 1855, Louis Rem traveled from Sacramento to Portland, stopping to rest only 10 hours of the 143 hours it took him to reach Portland. His average speed while traveling without resting was 5 miles per hour. How many miles did he travel? So basically, we just need to do this. You need to remember the following equation. Speed equals distance over time. Or rate equals distance over time. I like the speed equals distance over time. So let's just substitute the values in. We know the speed was 5 miles per hour. Now the distance, they tell us, so we're solving for the distance. The time, they tell us, it took him 143 hours, but remember, he rested for 10 of those hours, so he only traveled for 133 hours. So now we just solve for D. So the distance is going to end up being A, 665. Number 11. Each of the 25 data values in a data set is a different integer between 1 and 50 inclusive. The table gives a frequency of each of them. Which of the following intervals contains exactly 2/5 of the values in the data set? Well, if we have 25 data values, we need the interval that contains 2/5 of 25. And 2/5 of 25 is going to be 10. So let's see which interval has 10 values. 1 through 20 has 12. 11 through 30 has 8. 21 through 40 has 11. But 31 through 50 has 10. So D is our answer. Number 12. Okay, we've got this table of information. Then the question says that the number of students who participate in 2 extracurricular activities is 120 more than the number of students who participate in 1. What is the total number of students who attend the middle school? Okay, so we're gonna assign a variable to the number of students who attend the middle school. That variable is gonna be x. So x equals number of students. So all of these represent like a fraction of x. So they're basically telling us that 0.55 times x is equal to 120 plus 0.30 times x. So now just solve it for x. Let's move the 0.30 to the other side. So 0.25x equals 120. So x is going to equal 480b. Let's recircle that. 480b. Number 13. Okay, we have a little graph thing here. For her job, Natasha spent a total of N minutes processing ID apps and driver's license applications. It takes her 15 minutes to process an ID app, 20 minutes to process a driver's license application. The graph above represents all possible combinations of the number of ID applications and the number of driver's license applications that she could have processed in the N minutes. What is the value of N? This looks like a little funky, but here's what we can do. just pick a point on the graph. Let's say we picked a point 16, 15. That means she would have processed 16 ID card applications and then 15 driver's license applications. And we could have picked any point. I just picked that one. So let's see. We know that it takes 15 minutes to process an ID application. So I would do 16 times 15, which would give us 240. Let me write that down. And then 20 minutes to process driver's license. Then we would do 15 times 20, which equals 300. So in total, we're gonna get 540. Easy peasy. Okay, let's check out number 14. In the xy plane, what is the y coordinate of the y-intercept of the graph of the equation of y equals 3x minus 12 over x plus 2? Okay, so the y-intercept is literally just, where x equals 0. So let's plug in 0 for x. So this is going to be y equals 3 times 0 minus 12 over 0 plus 2. So this is going to be negative 12 over 2. So this is going to equal negative 6a. Number 15. We have a coordinate plane. The coordinates of points A, B, and C are shown in the plane above. For which of the following inequalities will each of the points A, B, and C be contained in the solution region? Okay, so basically we need to see what each of these is going to look like. So let's say we have A, y is bigger than negative x minus 2. Literally what I would do is I would take the calculator and graph negative x minus 2. And let's see what we would get. So if we graph that, we're basically gonna, and it's bigger than this. So we're gonna get something that looks like, it's gonna look something like this. I'm gonna give like a rough sketch. It's gonna look something like that, more or less. Not exactly to scale, but basically, everything is gonna be above it. So A would be our answer. And then if we're unsure, another way to do it is just plug the points in. Plug the points into the inequality, see which one works, and they would all work with answer choice A, so we know that would be the correct answer. Okay. Number 16. In the figure above, AB equals AD, BC equals CD, BE equals 2. So let's start labeling those. BE equals 2. BC equals 4. AC equals, the holding equals 10. What is the area of triangle ABD? Okay. So what we can do is we've got triangle BFC. So we actually know that this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle, because in this triangle the short side is 2, the long side is 4. So that means that, let me get rid of some of this. So that means that EC is going to just be 2 times the square root of 3, which means that AE is going to be 10 minus 2 root 3. So the area of the triangle ABD is just the base time 1/2 base times height. So it's just going to be 2 times 10 minus 2 root 3, which is going to be 20 minus 4 root 3, which is C. The graph above shows the distribution of years of experience for 25 teachers enrolled in an advanced degree program at some university. If a 26th teacher, if 2 years of experience is added to the program and to the data set, what will be the effect on the mean and median of the data set? Okay, excuse me. So let's see. So if a 26th teacher with 2 years experience is added here, well, we know that the median will we know that the mean will change at least, right? So we need to figure out what the mean is right now, and to decide whether the mean is going to go up or going to go down. So let's see how many collective years of experience we have, or what the mean years. Let's see what the mean of the years of experience we have. So to do that, we're gonna basically do the following. We're gonna take 4 multiplied by 1, add that to 7 multiplied by 2, add that to 8 multiplied by 3, add that to 4 multiplied by 4, add that to 5 multiplied by 2, which is going to be 68, divided by 25 teachers. So we have a collective of 2.72 years of experience per teacher on average. So if we add a teacher with 2 years of experience, because it's less than the current mean, we know that the mean is going to go down. So the answer could be potentially A, it can't be B, because we know the mean is going to go down, and it can't be D, because again, we know the mean is going to go down. So now we just got to decide, will the median be the same, or will the median decrease? So let's see where the median is now. In order to see where the median is now, we need to see, we have 25 teachers, so we need to see where the 13th will lie. So let's see, we have 4 teachers with 1 year of experience. We then have another 7 with 2 years of experience, so we have a total of 11 teachers right now. And then we have 8 years with 3 years of experience. So the median lies in that 3 years of experience column. So there's so many values in the column. Basically, if we add another teacher with 2 years, the median is still going to stay in there. So the median is going to stay the same. So C is going to be our answer. Number 18. A sport has 60 backpacks in stock. Some with wheels, some without wheels. Before a new shipment of backpacks arrived, the number of wheeled that was in the new shipment was twice the number of wheeled already in stock. Okay. So great. Number of backpacks without wheels in the new shipment was 5 times the number of backpacks without wheels already in stock. After the new shipment arrived, there were 330 in stock. Before the shipment, there were X wheeled backpacks and Y backpacks without wheels. Which of the following equations can be used with X plus Y equals 60 to solve for X and Y? Great, so they give us the first equation. We know that the number of the backpacks has to be equal to 60. That's why X plus Y equals 60. Then we also know that so we need to figure out what equation can be used to solve for X and Y. So if we had 330 in the store after the new shipment arrived, it means before the new shipment arrived we only had 270. So we're gonna get rid of A and D. So we're left with B and C. And now, what else do we know? We were told that the wheeled X is the wheeled backpacks, Y is the ones without the wheels, and the number of wheeled backpacks was twice the number of wheeled backpacks was already in stock. So the 2 has to be associated with the X, the 5 is associated with the Y. So our answer is going to be B. Number 19. The function h is defined as shown. For what value of x does the function h reach its minimum value? You could plug these in, right? But also, we know basically if we're looking for a minimum value, remember, a minimum or a maximum value is essentially just the vertex, right? So that's a useful piece of information. And we don't even have to do that much out here, because we know that the x-intercepts of this function are going to be at -5 and +5. So the vertex is going to be located in between them. So between -5 and +5 is 0. So we know that the value of x, where this is going to reach its minimum, is going to be C0. Number 20, a set of data is represented by the scatter plot. Which of the following linear equations best fits the data? Basically, let's see what we've got here. We have to match the scatter plot to the equations. So first of all, we know that we have a positive slope. So right off the bat, we can eliminate A, we can eliminate C. And now for the rest of these, basically we just need to kind of test something out. Like pick one of the points somewhere in the middle of it, and whichever one gives you, plug in the value of x, whichever one gives you a pretty close value of y. That's like whichever equation when you plug the value of x gives you a pretty close value of y to what the value of y should have been in the point is going to be your answer. So let me give you an example. Let's say we plug in, let's say we're trying out answer choice B. Let's plug in the point 5.9 comma 115. And let's say we plug that in for B. So we're going to do 15.2 plus 1.6 times 5.9. Whoops. And that's going to give me an answer of like 25. So that was really far away. So now I'm going to try the same thing with D just to make sure. So now I'm going to do 15.2 plus 16 times 5.9. Oops, and this should have been not 15. This should have been 115. But that's going to give me an answer of about 110, which is really close to 115. So we know that D is going to be our answer. Number 21. In the equation of the graph above, a graph shown as ax plus by equals 6, where a and b are constants, what is the value of b? Okay, so the value of b. My recommendation for this kind of equation is it's not currently in y equals form, so let's rearrange the stuff to put it into y equals form. So this is going to be by equals negative ax plus 6. So y is going to be equal to negative ax plus 6 over b. Okay, so cool. So let's separate this out. Let's make this y equals negative a over bx plus 6 over b. So we know that our y-intercept is going to be equal to 6 over b. But we also know that the y-intercept based off of the graph is going to be equal to negative 2. So this tells us that 6 over b is equal to negative 2, which means that b should be equal to negative 3, which is answer choice A. 22. The function W gives the estimate weight WL in pounds of a rainbow trout based on its length L in inches. Which of the following is the best interpretation of the number 1.22 in this context? Okay, let's see. For each increase of 1 pound in weight, the estimated length of the trout will increase by 22%. So basically what this means is if we keep increasing L, the estimated length is going to keep increasing by 22%. Okay, well, no. Because they said for each increase in weight, but it looks like based off of this, it should be the opposite. It's when L increases or decreases that W is going to increase or decrease. So A is out. B, for each increase of 1 inch in length, the estimated weight of the trout in pounds increases by 22%. Okay, this one makes sense. And if it doesn't quite make sense, plug numbers in. You could plug, let's say you plug in 1 for L. Plug in 1 for L, get an answer for W. Then increase L by 1, so make L equal to 2. You'll find that the value of W is going to end up increasing by 22%. So B is going to be the right answer. Yeah. Number 23. In the figure, theta is an angle. If sine of theta is root 3 over 2, what is going to be the cosine of theta? So just grab your calculator. We can get the angle. by doing second sine of square root of 3. And then we're going to divide that by 2. And so that's going to tell us that theta is 60 degrees. So then if theta is 60 degrees, just take cosine of theta, cosine of 60, which is going to give you 0.5. So you know A and D are out. Now the only weird thing is that this theta angle extends into the second quadrant. And in the second quadrant, x is negative, but y is positive. So this is going to mean that our answer isn't going to be 1/2, but it's going to be negative 1/2, which is C. Okay, so now we're going to try out number 24. The two-way table categorizes the change in value in July and August for 50 stocks. If one of the stocks that increased in value in August is chosen at random, what is the probability that it also increased in value in July? So let's look at the stocks that increased in value in August. There were a total of 30 of them. So we're going to put something over 30. Increased in July. So in that same column, we have 21 that increased in July. So our probability is going to be 21 over 30, which is going to be equal to 0.7 C. Oops. Okay, let's check out 25. Okay, so 25, I already see speed, distance, time stuff. So we're going to start with speed equals distance over time. Minato drove 390 miles. Part of the drive was along local roads where the average speed was 20 miles an hour. The rest was along the highway where it was 60 miles per hour. The drive took 8 hours. What distance did he drive along local roads? So this is going to be kind of a pain to do, but just bear with me. So let's see what we've got. So we're going to be using this equation a lot. Speed equals distance over time. So let's start with this. Let's start with the equation for local roads. We're going to say, for simplicity, we're going to say that L is going to be the time on local roads. And we're going to say that H is going to be time on highway. So we can set up a couple of equations here. We're going to have 20 equals the distance on the local over the time local. Okay? And then we can do the same thing for the other one, for the highway. So 60 is going to be the distance on the highway over the time on the highway. So then we can set up one more equation now, because we know that the Minato drove a total of 390 miles, right? That means when we add up the two distances, we should get to 390. So if we do, so that would tell us that 20L plus 60H is going to equal 390. Okay. So now we've got one equation here ready to go, but now we need our other equation. And that is going to be, well, we know that the drive took 8 hours, right? So that means that L plus H is going to be equal to 8. This is the time it took, remember? So now we have two equations, so we just substitute one equation in for the other one. So we're looking for local roads, so we're going to solve this for H. So H is going to be equal to 8 minus L. So now we're going to plug in 8 minus L everywhere you see an H in the top equation. So that's going to be 20L plus 60 times 8 minus L equals 390. So 20L plus 480 minus 60L equals 390. Combine like terms, move stuff around. We're going to get 40L. Let me write it right here. 40L is going to be equal to basically 110. Cool. So L is going to be equal to 110 divided by 40, 110 divided by 40. So L equals 2.75. That's our value of L. So now we're almost done because we're looking for the distance. So we're just going to plug the 2.75 back into this equation right here. That was my attempt at a star. So we're just going to plug that in. So 20 is going to be equal to the distance of the local over 2.75. So just multiply 20 by 2.75, which is gonna get us wait a second. Did I just mess up? What the Okay, where did I mess up? Negative 40, 390 minus 480. 390 minus 480. Okay, here's what I messed up. Okay, here's what I messed up. Let's undo some stuff. Okay, cool. So 20L plus 480 minus 60L is going to be 390. Let's running out of space here, but let's write some more over here. So negative 40L is going to be equal to basically negative 90. So L is going to be equal to 90 divided by 40, which is going to be 2.25. So L equals 2.25. So L equals 2.25. Now we just have to plug L back into this equation over here. So 20 is equal to the local distance over 2.25. We do the math. 20 times 2.25 should give us B45. Good job, guys. Okay. Whew. Or, man, what a hassle. 26, x squared plus bx plus 16 equals 0. In the quadratic equation shown, b is a constant. For what value of b does the equation have only one solution? So one solution means that the discriminant, which was the b squared minus 4ac, has to equal 0. So when we, in other words, when we have, and our values of, and a is the coefficient next to the x squared, b is the coefficient next to the x, c is the constant. So this is just going to be, so b squared minus 4 times 1 times 16 has to equal 0. So b squared is going to have to equal 64. So this tells us that b is going to be equal to negative 8 and positive 8, which is d. 27. Hopefully this doesn't require that much written work because we have no written space left. The function f is defined for all real numbers, and the graph of y equals f of x in the xy plane is in line with a negative slope. Which of the following must be true? Okay, so if a is less than b, then f of a must be greater than f of b. Well, let's see. Let's draw this out. See what this is going to look like. If it has a negative slope, this is what it's going to look like. And our equation in our line is going to look something like this. It's going to be going downwards like this. So if a and b would be the x values. So if the x value, if a is less than b, then f of a must be bigger than f of b. Well, yeah, this is true because when you have a negative slope, as x goes up, y goes down, right? So that's what the first condition says, basically. That's inverse. So one definitely works. So b is out and d is out. So we really only need to test that condition 3, which is if a is bigger than 0, than f of a is less than 0. In other words, if x is bigger than 0, then y must be less than 0. But that doesn't have to be true, because like let's say we pick a random point here that's in the first quadrant. That's not the case there, right? X is bigger than 0, y is not bigger than 0. I'm sorry, x is bigger than 0 and y is also bigger than 0. So only the first condition needs to be true, so our answer is going to be A. Number 28, we have this equation. In the equation above, a and b are positive constants and a is not equal to b. How many distinct x-intercepts does the graph of the equation in the xy plane have? Distinct just means different. So think of this as, when you have when you have a quadratic and you factored it, right? You have multiple solutions. So how many distinct x-intercepts? So x-intercept is just where y equals 0. So where y equals 0. So b is a distinct. So this b. So this part would be like 0. So that'd be 1. Then these are the same. This intercept would be a. When you have x plus b, that means the solution is negative b. When you have x minus b, that means the solution is just b. So basically, you have 4 distinct intercepts. You have 0. You have a. You have negative b, and you have b. So the answer would be C4. 29, in the given equation, k is a constant. If the equation has no solution, what is the value of k? No solution would basically mean that your left side and your right side are not equal. So let's distribute some stuff out. On the left side, we're going to have 1/3 k, 1/3 x minus 1/3 k equals kx. So if there's no solution, let's see. Well, if there's no solution, that would mean, well, let's see what we can plug in to make sure that these are never ever going to be equal no matter what we do. The one that stands out to me right now is 1/3, because that's what's in the question. So let's see what will happen if we plug in 1/3 for k. If we plug in 1/3 for k, we would have 1/3 x minus 1/9k is going to equal 1/3 x. Well, these can never be equal, right? Because if we have a 1/3 x on the left side and a 1/3 x on the right side, we're not adding anything. You can imagine it as being plus 0. Whereas on the left side, we're subtracting something still. So the two sides are not equal, which means there's no solution, which means that D is our answer. Number 30, the expression x squared plus bx plus 10 and x minus 3 squared plus c are b and c are constants are equivalent. What is the value of b plus c? They told us these expressions are equivalent, so let's set them equal to each other. So x squared plus bx plus 10 equals x minus 3 squared plus c. So let's distribute out the right side. So we're going to have x squared plus, x squared plus, what's something crazy is going on? Something weird is happening. Okay, wait, plus c. Okay, so we're going to have x squared plus bx plus 10 equals x squared minus 6x plus 9 plus c. Man, it's plus c. I don't know why this is being a little weird now, but whatever. Okay, so we know that b is the middle term on both sides. So if we had x squared minus 6x on the right side, that tells us that b equals negative 6. And then if we have a plus 10 on the left side and a 9 plus c on the right side, well, 10 has to be equal to 9 plus c, so c equals 1. So b plus c should equal d negative 5. Okay, Griddens time. 31. What value of x makes the equation above true? Well, it's whatever zeroes it out. So pretty easy. X is going to equal x is going to equal 3. 32. In the data set shown, r is an integer. If the median is 8 and r is less than 11, what is the possible value of are. So we're looking for the median to be 8. So let's rearrange the order of this stuff. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. So the smallest numbers will be 4, 5, 5. Then we've got 8, 11, 13, and R somewhere. So R could be a bunch of numbers. I think one that looks like clearly could definitely be would be 8, right? Because that would work. But 8, 9, or 10 should be able to work fine. 33. X, Y is a solution to the system of equations above. What is the value of X? Classic system of equations problem. Let's just subtract these two equations. So we're going to get negative 4x equals negative 1. So X was just going to equal 1 over 4. 34. One serving of a certain brand of microwave popcorn provides 150 calories, 90 of which are from fat. One serving of a certain brand of low-sodium pretzels provides 120 calories, 12 of which are from fat. How many more calories from fat are provided by a 150-calorie serving of the microwave popcorn than by a 100-calorie serving of the pretzels? Okay, well, in the popcorn, we could just set up like a proportion. So 150 over 100 is going to be equal to 90 over x. So x is going to be equal to 60. Same thing with the pretzels. 120 over 12 is going to be equal to 100 over, let's say, y. So y should be equal to 10. 60 minus 10 is just 50. 35. Length of so we're giving a parallelogram with a bunch of sides. We want to know the area of the parallelogram. Area of parallelogram is the same thing as an area of a rectangle. It's just base times height. So area equals base times height. The slant is pretty much is there to confuse you. So this is going to be 5 times 10, which is 50. 36. Linear function is defined by this equation. You see in their constants. F of 50 is 27,000. F of 100 is 38,000. What is the value of C? So what is the value of the slope? So slope, the way you calculate it, is just y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So this is going to be the C equals 27,000 minus 38,000. You could have done it the other way around also, over 50 minus 100. So this will be basically negative 11,000 over negative 50. So we should get an answer of, let's see, 11,000 divided by 50, 220. Okay, last couple of questions. Let's do this. Okay, we have a graph with a line of best fit and some points. Based on the line of best fit, the estimated value of a 6-year-old computer is $K,000, where K is an integer. What is the value of K? Let's see. Values K. Okay, so 6 years old, we're at 15,000, so easy. K is just 15. And 38. What is the number of computers for which the line of best fit predicts a value less than the actual value? Okay, so basically we want to know for how many dots are there that are above the line. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 dots are above the line, so our answer is 9. And we're done. Yeah, this was a long test. Well, felt long. Some of those later multiple choice questions were definitely pretty difficult, but basically all the grid-ins were pretty easy. So this is why on a test like this, time management is really important, because you want to make sure you get to the grid-ins, because they're all pretty much fairly easy questions relative to some of the multiple choice. So yeah, that was that test. That was the March 2020 Calc section. Hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. If you like this video, please smash the like button below. Subscribe to my channel. I'll be making even more videos coming soon. Hope you like them. Adios.